There are moments in the media world when the polished veneer of Hollywood empathy cracks, and what spills out isn't compassion but calculation. The story of Erika Kirk, grieving widow of Charlie Kirk, standing her ground against one of the most powerful machines in entertainment, is one of those rare moments when truth cuts through performance. For weeks, the conversation around Jimmy Kimmel's suspension played out like a predictable Hollywood drama: public outrage, corporate statements, the host disappearing briefly before returning with a prepared monologue. But what happened behind the scenes between Sinclair executives, ABC affiliates, Disney insiders, and the newly widowed Erika Kirk tells a different story, one that exposes the hollow core of scripted remorse in modern media. In the middle of that storm, Erika Kirk became the one person who refused to play by the rules. The moment Sinclair Broadcast Group reached out to her, it wasn't with human warmth or quiet compassion. It wasn't a handwritten letter, a private condolence call, or even a genuine moment of shared grief. It was a corporate inquiry disguised as concern. Do you want Jimmy to apologize? Do you want to be on his show? How can we make it right? That was the message. The translation? They wanted permission to fix their PR crisis, permission to smooth the optics, permission to use her loss as a token of goodwill. But Erika didn't bend. She didn't negotiate. She didn't give them the storyline they wanted. Instead, she responded with something Hollywood rarely hears: sincerity. "Tell them thank you, but this isn't my mess," she said. "If Jimmy wants to apologize to a grieving family, let him. But if it isn't in his heart, don't force it. I don't want an apology. I don't need it." For a woman navigating the fresh wound of losing her husband, these weren't the words of a fragile widow being guided by corporate teams. They were the words of someone who understood the game instantly and refused to play it. The media is accustomed to controlling narratives. They expect families to take the stage, accept the public condolences, and give the approval needed to sweep controversies under the rug. But Erika Kirk's refusal turned their carefully prepared script into ashes. She made it clear that genuine grief does not exist for the entertainment of late-night hosts or affiliate executives trying to save face. Behind the bright lights and polished podiums, a panic was brewing. ABC had just endured one of the most explosive backlash cycles in years. Kimmel's insensitive remarks about Charlie Kirk's murder ignited a firestorm that Sinclair and Nexstar, two of ABC's largest affiliate owners, immediately reacted to. They didn't just complain, they took action. They preempted Jimmy Kimmel Live across their stations, forcing ABC and Disney into emergency discussions. For years, Hollywood operated under the belief that its hosts' jokes were bulletproof, that outrage was temporary, and that people would forget once the next scandal arrived. But the reaction from affiliate owners showed a deeper fracture, a moment when the corporate hierarchy was exposed and long-ignored tensions resurfaced. What nobody expected was that the smallest voice in the room, the grieving widow, would have the strongest backbone. Sinclair approached her not because they cared about her pain, but because they needed her cooperation. They needed her to accept their gesture so they could frame the crisis as resolved. ABC needed the green light to reinstate Kimmel without backlash. Disney needed the optics cleaned. Everyone wanted something from her. But Erika decided that her husband's memory would not be a bargaining chip. Meanwhile, the public didn't see the power struggle. They only saw Kimmel disappear from screens for a week and return with an emotional monologue. He told viewers it was never his intention to downplay the murder of a young man. He explained that he didn't mean to blame anyone. He spoke with polished humility, the kind Hollywood loves to applaud. But what made Erika's stance even more powerful is that she didn't challenge his words. She didn't attack him. She didn't participate in the theater. She simply refused to validate it. And that silence, rooted in dignity, spoke louder than any public feud could. Hollywood is built on the illusion of compassion. Stars deliver polished apologies on cue, networks issue scripted statements, and executives position themselves as allies of the grieving, the offended, the victimized. But when a woman stands firm and declines to be part of the performance, the facade crumbles. Erika Kirk exposed the difference between public remorse and private responsibility. She revealed how corporations treat apology as a tool, a strategy, a moment to manage rather than a feeling to express. Inside ABC and Disney, executives debated solutions. Sinclair pitched ideas, including a network-wide ombudsman to handle viewer feedback. Nexstar demanded accountability. ABC weighed the options, but ultimately brushed aside most proposals. And in the center of it all, someone asked a question nobody in Hollywood ever expects to hear. What if the grieving family doesn't want our apology? What if they won't participate in the healing storyline we've prepared? That was the moment the illusion shattered. Erika's refusal wasn't confrontational, it was principled. She wasn't looking for revenge, nor was she trying to punish Jimmy Kimmel. She simply didn't want a fake apology crafted by PR teams and filtered through corporate agreements. She didn't want to be paraded onto a talk show to validate someone else's redemption arc. She wasn't interested in becoming a symbol for ABC's return to accountability. She wasn't looking for the media to make it right, because you can't fix loss with a segment script or a heartfelt monologue written by someone backstage. Her reaction forced everyone to sit with discomfort, a feeling Hollywood usually edits out. In a world where everything is televised, analyzed, monetized, and clipped for engagement, Erika's decision was revolutionary. She turned away from the lights, the cameras, and the narrative warfare, choosing authenticity over spectacle. And because of that choice, she exposed how superficial public apologies can be when they originate out of obligation instead of genuine remorse. What's even more striking is that Erika never attacked Sinclair either. She didn't vilify the executives who reached out. She simply saw their offer for what it was, a transactional gesture designed to benefit them more than her, and shut it down respectfully. That level of clarity during grief is rare, and it made her position even more powerful. After Kimmel returned to air, Sinclair and Nexstar briefly continued their preemptions, sending a final signal that they weren't done making their dissatisfaction known. But eventually the pressure eased, the headlines cooled, and Hollywood moved on, as it always does. Yet the most important part of the story wasn't what Jimmy Kimmel said, or what ABC decided, or even how long the suspension lasted. It was Erika Kirk's quiet, unwavering message: if you don't mean the apology, keep it. That sentence, simple and honest, challenged the entire machinery of celebrity remorse. It reminded people that grief is not entertainment, that apologies are not props, that corporate empathy is not always real empathy, and that in the middle of chaos, one sincere voice can drown out an ocean of artificial noise. Her choice didn't just expose Hollywood hypocrisy, it redefined the narrative. And for once, the spotlight didn't belong to a host, a network, or an executive board. It belonged to a woman who refused to let her husband's legacy be used as a storyline.